I'm going to be showing you step-by-step guide what you need to do when trading spots on MEXC. All right. When you trade spot on MEXC, you are doing only one thing, and which is exchanging USDT for a coin or vice versa at a chosen market condition. Now, this condition can change based on your order type. So if you are joining this channel for the first time, this is Doza Digitals. You might want to hit the subscribe button, like the channel, turn on your notification bell so that whenever we post new videos, you always be the first to catch them. Now let's dive straight into the tutorial. Now there are basically 4 things that happens when it comes to spot trading, but for the purpose of this particular video, we are going to be focusing on just 3 of them, and that is, we are going to be looking at market order, limit order, and stop limit. All right, that's what we're going to be looking at when it comes to trading spots on MEXC. Now, what you need to understand is almost all exchanges are built in the same way, but I'm going to be doing another video for all of the exchanges because I know that some of my subscribers don't have MEXC in their own country. All right, so the first thing we want to do is that we want to bring out the brush tool and we'll go straight down to spots. All right, so when you click on spots, all right, you are going to see the interface is going to be looking like this. Now you can actually see on this part here, which is assets list. All right, these are all of the assets that are on MEXC, either assets that you are holding. All right, on MEXC you can actually see I'm holding $6 worth of USDT and just some fragment of some other tokens, while there are all other assets that I am not holding that are there. So what you might want to do is, in order to make this place look so busy, you might want to just click on hide small balances. So I'll click on hide small balances and it's going to be showing me only the USDT. However, for the purpose of this particular tutorial, I'm just going to uncheck the hide small balances because we are going to be using Solana as our case study to see how we can trade on spot step by step. So I'm just going to click on this Solana. I'll click on trade. All right, so when I click on trade for Solana, you can actually see that we have some activities that is actually playing out here. You can see the green and you can see the red. So this is more like an order book, right, that shows the amount of people that are willing to buy Solana and the amount of people that are currently dumping or selling Solana. All right, and on this part here you can actually see a 300x leverage, right? But we're not going to be looking at that because that basically falls under futures trading. But the purpose of this particular video is to just understand market order, limit order, and buy and stop limit, right? So if you see this particular part now, right, you can see there are 2 things happening here. You can see the buy and you can see the sell. Then you can also see this part here where we have market. All right, so when you click on that market, you are going to see a list of options, a list of market options there. You can see the limit, you can see the market, you can see the TP and the stop loss. The TP and the stop loss is what we call the stop limit. That's the take profit and the stop limit. If you have traded forex, you should be familiar with that particular term. All right, but right now we're going to be looking at the market order. So what is the market order here? The market order simply means buy or sell immediately at the best available price in the market. So currently, if we want to buy Solana now, what is the best available price in the market? The best available price in the market is this particular price that is here, right? This particular price rather that is here. You can see this particular price here that we have here is the best available price in the in the market, right? That is this particular price. So it means that if I automatically just say, okay, I want to buy 2 USDT worth of Solana, all right, if I click on buy Sol, automatically it submits my order, right? My market order is automatically submitted. So when I come to this part here where you see where we have positions, right? So I'll come to these positions. You can see these are all of the trades that I've executed. You can actually see now that I just bought $2 worth of Solana. That's what you can actually see in my positions right now, right? And you can see USDT. So this USDT and the Solana means that the amount of tokens or trade that I have on the spot under market order, or trade that I have or tokens that I've received on the spot section of the of MEXC, right? So you can see I'm holding USDT, and I just bought $2 worth of Solana, right? Those are my current position. Now let's say for instance I want to buy the total amount of USDT that I have. I want to use to buy all the Solana. All I just need to do is I'll just click on this particular button that you see there, right? When I click on that button, I'll just drag it down to 100%. So by the time I drag it down to 100%, it's automatically going to fill this box here with all the amount of USDT that I have. Then I can just click on buy. So if I click on buy, you see that automatically it's going to come back here, right? You can see that my positions have changed. You can see this part, my positions have changed. What does it mean? It means that I no longer hold USDT, right? I no longer hold USDT because I've used the USDT to now buy what? Solana. So currently, from the earlier $2 worth of Solana that I was holding, I'm now holding $6.83, right, worth of Solana. Now, if I want to sell, what can I do, right? So all I just need to do is click on this part as well. I'll click on this part, sell. So when you click on that sell part, you can actually see that it is almost the same thing. Now, what this means is I want to sell at the current market price. What is the current price of Solana? That is the price that I want to use in what? In selling. So when we talk about selling here, we're talking about people that are willing to sell at a certain price. So for me now, I am willing to sell at this particular what? Price. I don't want to wait for anything because that is the current market price, because this particular trade is talking about market order, what the current market price is what is saying. Then for the buy order, it is talking about people that are willing to buy at a certain price. And all of these things, I mentioned that this part and this part, they are the what? They are the order book, right? So a market buy takes coins from the cheapest seller first. That is if your order is big, and it keeps taking from the higher prices. Okay, that's where there's something we call slippage, right? That's totally what happens. Okay, so that's basically that. So if I want to sell this one now, all I just need to do, you can see I have 0.057 worth of sold, right? All I need to do is to just click on this part here. I'll just drag it and fill it up, right? So by the time I fill it up, I'll click on what? Sell. By the time I click on sell, we'll come back to position. You see that my position has changed. It has changed from what it was to USDT. So that's basically how you trade what? Markets. Okay, that's how you trade market. So we have used Solana as our market example, right, to actually look at how you can actually do this thing. So just know that if you are buying or you are selling under this particular market option, you are buying at the best available price that a buyer is willing to buy, or that the buyer is willing to sell, and a seller is willing to what? To just know that anything around here for the buy and the sell, it's the same thing, especially when it is on market what? Order. You are literally saying that you want to buy at the best price and you want to sell at the best what? At the best price. That's the price that is currently what? Available in the market. Now, when do you use market orders? Market orders are used for fast entries, all right? Before you start setting all of your stop loss, take profit and all of that. Most people might not have the bandwidth for that, right? So you just enter it. It's a fast entry and it allows you to use a small amount, right? And you can trade high liquidity coins. You can trade BTC, you can trade ETH, and you can also trade Solana, right? But then again, it has its own downside. The downside is that there are some low volume coins that you might want to trade, and I mean buying them will just be like a waste of money because there's not going to be any price action or movement of prices that will be happening on that particular trade. And when there is like a new spike, all right, at the time of recording this video, the crypto market has dumped from $3.01 trillion to $2.95 trillion, right? Why did it dump? Because of the current activity that is happening in the world, right? So any activity that is happening in the world, whether it involves America, Donald Trump coming up with a particular information on something, it automatically affects the market, right? It affects the market, okay? So that's that about that on market order. Then the next one is limit order. You can see limit order here, right? Limit order, right? Let's look at limit order. So a limit order simply means you are willing to buy or sell only at a choosing price. That means the price that you have chosen. So in other words, you are the one that is controlling the price, right? The market cannot execute until it gets to the price that you have selected, okay? Now, for instance, Solana is trading at $117.36, and I now say I want to buy Solana when it gets to $20, right? you and I know that Solana will never get to $20. Okay, so that means that my trade may never be executed. All right, so basically, how does limit order work? When you place your order, it will be sitting in the order book. There's what we call the order book, right? You can see all of this red and green, like I explained earlier. That's the order book. So that's the activity that is actually happening, right? So your trade will never fulfill. Do you get what I'm saying? It will never fulfill if you choose $20, because why? You and I know that the crypto space has gone beyond the point where a particular token will just crash to an unreasonable amount of money, right? So if your price reach the level that you have chosen, your order will fill in. But if it doesn't reach, it will stay like that. So let's do this example. Now we're using Solana, right? You can see the current price based on the way the market is fluctuating is $117.36. That's the current price of Solana. And I want to buy Solana. It's currently 117. So I want to buy Solana when it gets to $100, right? When Solana gets to $100, that's when I want my trade to be executed, right? And I want to buy $4 worth of Solana. Okay, you can see I've chosen $4 worth of Solana, and I want the trade to happen when Solana dumps to $100. So I'll just come here and I'll click on what? Buy. You can see my trade has been successfully what? Submitted. It has been successfully submitted. If I come into this part here where you see the order, you can see this is the open order. That's the order book. If I go to that order book now, you can see limit buy. You can see there's activity going on in the market right now, right? But my trade will remain like this because my order price is $100. That's my order price. I've chosen the $100, and this trade will only execute when Solana dumps to $100. How many dollars does Solana have to shed before it gets to 100? Another $17, right? That's what it has to shed. So I can just keep waiting for this until it happens, but you and I know this is not going to happen anytime soon. So in order for me not to just waste my money or allow my money tying down, except you know one thing about limit orders is that it's a long time game when it comes to trading. It's a long time game, so I can just go ahead and just click on what? Cancel. Right? It says, are you sure you want to cancel this order? No more reminders. So I'll confirm it. So I've cancelled the what? I've cancelled the order. Right? Now the same thing also applies to when it comes to sell. When it comes to sell. So when you come to sell as well, let's say I'm not holding any position of Solana right now. I'm not holding any position of Solana. Right? As when I'm holding Solana, I would have used that as an example. But because I'm not holding any Solana right now, I can just come and say, okay, I want to sell my Solana when it gets to $200, right? When Solana gets to $200, that's when I want it to sell. Then I can just put the amount of USDT I want to use in buying, all right, from what I've already had. So I have $4 worth of USDT, and I want it to sell when it gets to $200, right? And when that particular trade happens, yes, when it happens, it means that I've automatically locked in my profits. I don't have to come and sit down on the screen watching the movement of my trade. I'll just leave it and just go. What will happen is that my trade eventually will fill. So that's all about selling on limit orders. Now, what are the advantages of limit orders? The advantage is that you get to receive better prices, right? You get better prices, and you also get lower fees as well, and there are no slippage. Now, the disadvantage is that your order may never fill, and it requires patience. So take for instance, now I want to try a trade and say, okay, when this particular token gets to this amount of money, my order should automatically fill, and it doesn't get there. I can wait for months and that will not happen. But when it eventually happens, it means that I'm going to make some profit. So basically that's how you do your limit orders, right? So let's go back. I'm just going to stop the video on the market order and the limit order. Subsequently, I'm going to do another video that just shows us what we need to do when it comes to using the stop limit, and when it comes to using the stop limit, right, for trade. But in summary, just understand that stop limit is not really good if you are starting out as a beginner, right? If you are starting as a beginner, you want to start with market order and limit order, because you may end up losing all your money when it comes to this particular aspect of the trade, especially when you are not a pro. You end up losing your money. So I'm going to stop here, guys. You want to do well to hit the subscribe button on the channel, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out whenever we post a new video. And I'll be glad if you can also share this video with your friends, with your community, so that some persons get to learn how to also trade spots, right, using MEXC. I'll be creating more videos around other exchanges like I mentioned in the beginning, and we're just going to pick it from there. See you again in my next video. Bye for now, guys.